My name is Rabbi Weinberg. I'm a rabbi. I live in Israel, part of the Chabad Lubavitch movement. It's the largest Jewish movement in the world. The other day I was in the hospital here. I had to take my wife for something. And so we're in a waiting room. And now, I don't want to put it down. My basic experience in Israel has been very, very good. I'm just kind of highlighting the story to bring out a point. And there was an Arab there who was obviously, a sick person, and double meaning here. And he came by and he coughed on me, which is not nice. So I moved, and then again he did it, and then I shouted at him, and his brothers were like, "Oh, we're sorry," and I didn't want no war. In any event, the bottom line is I'm bringing that out to say that evil is real, and the West has literally lost billions. I shouldn't say billions, but millions of people, millions upon millions of people, because of one thing. I was speaking with my dear little friend Aronchik, as we call him, yesterday, and I forgot the word I used, but he used a better word. He said it's called complacency. You see, when we are comfortable in life, we become addicted to comfort, and what addiction does is it makes us not want to see what is wrong. So I want to keep it short because we're all ADD today, and I want to give you one message, and that is as follows. Whether you like to acknowledge this or not, if you are part of the West, if you're a Christian, if you're a Westerner, even if you don't believe, particularly if you are religious in some way or form, there are at least 100 million Muslims. Now, again, not to put all Muslims down. Many Muslims are very good people, and that's the problem, that sometimes we label everybody. We're not labeling everybody, but at the same time, it's just like food. You can't say all food is bad, but some food is bad, and it's really bad. Some food is actually poison and will kill you. So you have to know who is good and who is evil. The narrative that Israel somehow is an oppressor, which is the biggest joke that ever existed. There is no country in the Arab world that is as good to the Arabs, that gives the Arabs of their country more freedom than Israel. That's the irony. But they say if you tell a lie often enough, it becomes believed. This lie that there's a Palestinian people. I once said this to a friend of mine, Shula, and long story short, I said about returning. She said, returning to who? This land of Israel, it is called Judea. It's the Jewish land. It was the Romans that called it Palestinia, and that's only to get back at the Jews. And the ancient Philistines that supposedly they come from disappeared 3,000 years, 2,500 years ago. You can fact check that. So the bottom line is that this is a huge lie propagated by Russia, in fact, because Russia was anti-Semitic. They wanted to wipe out all the Jews. They killed millions of them, including 3 of my great-grandparents. And the bottom line is that they hooked up with the Arab, and this is from the greatest Russian spy that ever defected to the West, Ian Pacipa, a 2-star general, head of the KGB of Romania, personally trained Arafat, who's quote-unquote the leader of their peace movement. And basically they came up with a lie. Instead of saying that we are Arabs that want to kill Jews, or we're Muslims that want to kill Jews, say that we're Palestinians and you took our land. And a lot of people believe it. In fact, I believed it too, because if everybody's saying the same story, it can't be that you made up a people. But they did. They made up a people. All they have to do is reinforce the lie, and we believe it. Because for Islam, for people that want to kill you, they don't mind lying to you. In fact, I think it's called takfir. There's a concept in Islam of lying for the sake of, treachery. Even the concept of war, the concept of ceasefire. It's not a ceasefire. You can't make peace with Muslim radicals, because Muslim radicals, and I don't like the word radicals because it means like they're crazy. They're not crazy. They're following their religion, and they're following what Muhammad did. Muhammad made peace for 10 years, and then when he was strong, he went against his enemy and he wiped them out. He slaughtered them. There is no terrorist in the world today that is as evil in behavior as what he did. He took a group of Jewish people that surrendered peacefully. He killed them. He raped their women. He took them as sex slaves. As he's killing their husbands, there's nobody. I don't know in history. I don't know about, they call about Genghis Khan. I don't know different people, but I don't know of any group that is more sadistic, of maybe Hamas and ISIS, who took their behavior. They took their model after the behavior of their prophet. So we're talking about people that are taught from day one. There was a Muslim from Gaza that converted to Judaism. He says, when a baby there is born, they surround them with knives. Oh, you're going to kill Jews. They're inculcated from the youngest of age. This guy who became a Jew, he converted. He was in a secular country, Abu Dhabi or something. The way they did math is, if there are 4 Jews and you kill 2, how many are left? This is their, and this guy that was part of the KGB. Why did the KGB use the Arabs? Because they have this ancestral hate, because their great ancestor Yishmael was kicked out of the home, and because of that they've never recovered. They have the shame. In fact, I did a little video with a guy, a former terrorist that converted to Christianity, Taz. And bottom line is, I said, I want to apologize, because I understood. I went through a period of shame in my life, so I understood shame. I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy. And I said, I want to apologize for anything that we did since our father Abraham. You know what? The guy cried. This guy that was a former killer, he was crying because this is the pain that they hold in their heart. They hold this pain. Imagine if Abraham's your father and you get kicked out of the house. Imagine the feeling, and they hold this feeling in their heart. And the bottom line is, until like this guy Taz, that he realized, no, this was the will of God. There's meant to be Yishmael. There's meant to be Abraham. We all have a place in this world. We don't all have to be the same. In fact, it'd be a pretty sick world if we were all the same. The bottom line is, we're all children of God. And when it comes to reality, anybody that thinks that the Jews that are survivors of the Holocaust, that have one country just so we can live, and we're being attacked incessantly by basically, I don't want to call it radical Islam, but we'll call it pure Islam, that wants to wipe out not only us, but they want to wipe out the entire West. They want to wipe out, in fact, all Muslims that don't carry their creed. They are the Shiites and the Sunnis want to wipe out each other. A guy from Iran told me they say, like, they're Shiites. If you kill Sunnis, you're like, 7 Sunnis, you go to heaven. I mean, this is sick stuff. And this is what we're dealing with. And until you wake up and you say, when there is a din, it's called the right. If somebody that's going to clear and present danger, somebody that's going to come and kill, you have to kill him first. These are people that have been brainwashed. I just spoke to a guy. He was I said to him, what did you do in the army? So he was 1 month in the army. Now, people have been in the army now for 2 years or something straight. Why? Because his job was to find like the videos of what these guys, Hamas, made. He said, whatever they put out, all the evil that even the Israeli government showed other governments, he said that's nothing compared to what was seen. He said a small thing that he saw was they took a baby, and these are not older fighters. We're talking about 13, 14-year-old kids. They're using them like a football. We're talking about the people, and the idea that we're letting these terrorists around the world so they can kill more people. Obama infiltrated America. He is part of the Muslim Brotherhood. It's the largest terrorist organization, this is according to Egypt, that's been fighting them for so long. And in fact, he installed the Muslim Brotherhood in Egypt. In fact, even after the Egyptians overthrew the Muslim Brotherhood, he was bringing them into the State Department. In fact, there are people right now in the State Department that are probably listening to this because they're part of the Muslim Brotherhood. As we speak now, even President Trump, that's how embedded they are in the American government. The guy was giving millions. Hamas is actually part of the Muslim Brotherhood. Every time he gave them $50 million, $30 million, you understand, for throwing rockets at Israel. You understand what this is going on? The President of the United States is supporting, giving money to Hamas, giving money to terrorists, giving billions of dollars to Iran. And now it's come out that through the Democratic Party funneled billions of dollars to Hezbollah. We're talking about the greatest diabolical lies that ever existed. And this is being supported by our taxpayer money. And so it's time to be woke and woke up to the fact that there are millions of people that want to kill you. And if you keep on being woke and think that you're being cool by supporting, I'll conclude with this. I was once by this Statue of Liberty. There was this protest against, Dead Sea products, by these quote unquote Muslims that really care about the Palestinians. It's the biggest joke of the world. They're keeping them, as my banker was quote unquote a Palestinian, meaning Arab that was 47. They told them to leave Israel because we're going to conquer all the Jews. And so many of them left. And then the Arab countries that they went to, they became refugees. Refugees means that they didn't allow them to have land, like 47 professions. They keep them in squalor just so they can hate the Jews and claim that these are the ancient people that existed there. The whole thing is one big lie. The Arabs came to Israel. Basically, if you read Mark Twain says that when he came to Israel in 1850, it was like 50 kilometers. You didn't see anything but a scorpion. The Jews came, they drained the swamps, and Arabs came to work for them. In fact, we bought the land from the Arabs, believe it or not. And then there's this lie that it's the Palestinian people. So these people don't care about the Palestinians. And then you have these Jewish women in pink or something, supporting, glad they call themselves women at least, supporting these people. And I took a walk and I was thinking, what do I tell these women? Because in their mind, they're supporting the poor, oppressed Palestinian, and we are the bad ones. So I took a walk and I saw on the river, across the river, I saw the Statue of Liberty. And then I realized what I have to tell them. I came back and I told each one of them, I said, you are supporting terrorism. And each one of them said, no, we are not. Because they know that they shouldn't be supporting terrorism. But what they think is they think they are supporting the oppressed Palestinians. But there's only one joke. The Palestinians are the oppressors. They're not the oppressed. They are the people that, there's a line, if the Arabs wanted peace, all they had to do is let go of their arms. If the Jews let go of their arms, God forbid what would happen. This is not a question of an oppressed people. This is a question of a duped people. And you're the one that's duped. You're the one that they sold the lie to. So all I ask of you is one thing. I said many facts here. If you can disprove a single fact, a single one, I guarantee you $100. One fact that you can disprove from what I just said. Oh, I said many facts. I built a story that the entire Palestinian thing is a lie. It's part of terrorism, part of Russian disinformation. If you can disprove a single thing, I will personally give you $100. And if not, I just want one thing. I want you to write in the comments, I changed my mind. That's all I'm asking. Have an open and honest debate with yourself. Do the research. See if what I'm saying is true. And if not, change your mind, because there's nothing worse than a healthy mind being fooled by an unhealthy person. Thank you for watching.